Good afternoon to one and all. I am R.V. Kiran, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Civil Engineering College. Today in this class, we are going to see about the flywheels. So the theory part regarding to the third unit, that is on the flywheels. So they have frequently asked questions about the flywheels in the short answers question as well as the long answers also. One of the part in the long answers also. This is my 34th class regarding to the subject dynamics of machinery. So first of all, we should learn about the flywheel. So a flywheel is a mechanical energy that stores the energy. So mechanically it stores the energy. So it is in essence a mechanical battery or some other thing, simply a mass rotating about an axis. That is called a flywheel. And this flywheel can store energy mechanically in the form of kinetic energy. So they take an electrical input to accelerate the rotor up to the speed by using the built-in motor and return the electrical energy by using this same motor as a generator also. So there can be many ways by the application of the flywheel, but they may still improve to serve us as an important component on tomorrow's vehicles. That is nowadays vehicles are changing day by day, coming to the electrical vehicles also and future energy needs. So by far we are going to use these flywheel in many applications. Next, flywheel is a heavy rotating body that acts as a reservoir of energy. So generally these are used to store energy. So this is acts as a reservoir of energy, and this energy is stored in the form of kinetic energy. So this is in the stored in the form of kinetic energy also. Next, this flywheel is extensively used in applications like punching press machine and IC engines also. So in the punching press, the power is supplied at the constant rate, but in the IC engines, the power is generated at variable rate. So there is two difference between the. So first one, we go to the punching press. So in this, the power is supplied at the constant rate to regulate the punches on the thickness of the sheet. So they use it to supply power at the constant rate. But when coming to the IC engines, it depends upon the speed and acceleration. So the power is generated at variable rate. Next, the key functions of the flywheel is to generally store and release energy when needed during the work cycle. So these are generally used to store and release energy when there is need during the work cycle. So during the work cycle, they use it to store and release energy. Next, it also uses to reduce the power capacity of the electric motor. So generally, they are going to reduce the power capacity of the electric motor also. And next, it also reduces the amplitude of speed fluctuations. So when there is a fluctuations in the engines, it also reduces the fluctuations in the engines also. So this is also a function regarding to the flywheel. So these are all the different functions when it comes to the flywheel. Next, we are going to compare it with the governor. So let us see it with the flywheel and the governor. So first of all, the flywheel is the flywheel reduces the unavoidable fluctuation of speed, which is arising from the fluctuation of turning moment on the crankshaft. So this depends upon the general turning fluctuations of the crankshaft. But when it comes to the governor, this controls the mean speed of the engine by varying the fuel supply to the engine. So this also controls the mean speed of the engine by varying the fuel supply to the engine also. And second one, it neither has influence on the mean speed nor it maintains a constant speed. So it neither influences. So it is not influenced by the mean speed or it maintains a constant speed. But when come to the governor, it has some influence on the cyclic speed fluctuations. It has some influence on the cyclic speed fluctuations also. So that is the main difference. Next, third one, it always remains in operation when the engine is running. So the flywheel always remains in the operation. So it is still rotating. So when it completes the cycle also, when we use it to release it, they are still rotating in its engine only. So that is always remains in the operation when the engine is running. And coming to the governor, it only operates when the engine is running away from its mean speed. So that is, it operates when the engine is running away from its mean speed. So that is the basic differences between the flywheel and a governor. So both are mechanical devices only. So the governor is seen in the fourth unit. So we will see the governor in the fourth unit. So there we can see the classification and other functions of the governor. Next, the flywheel may not be used if the cyclic fluctuations of energy output are very small or negligible. So it may be not. So it may not be used if the cyclic fluctuations of energy output are small or negligible. So this may fluctuate or This may vary. And next, when coming to the governor, it is essential for all types of engines to adjust the fuel supply as per demand. So it also essential for all the type of engines to adjust the fuel supply as per the demand. Next, coming to the flywheel, the energy stored is in the form of kinetic energy and is 100% convertible to the work without friction. So it is 100% convertible to work without friction, and it involves frictional losses. So it also involves the frictional losses also. So that is the basic differences between the flywheel and a governor. So the general flywheel and a governor. So next, what are the materials used for the flywheels? So what are the basic materials used for the flywheels? So it is generally made of cast iron as it has following advantages. So generally these are used for the cast irons only. So they are made with the cast irons only. So that is the basic difference. And these CA flywheels are the cheapest in its sector. So that is it is very cheap comparing to in its sector. Next, these CI flywheels can be given any complex shapes without involving machining operations. So these can be made with any machining operations also. So this can be easily made, and it has the excellent ability to damping operations. So these can be used for damping vibrations. So that is removal of the vibrations in the damping. So they are used in this purpose also. So these are CI means cast iron flywheels and cast iron material. So however, it has poor tensile strength and its failure is sudden and total. So this failure is sudden and total. So it has sudden impact loads on it. So that is the materials for flywheel. So these are the materials used for the flywheel. So generally they are using these types of flywheels. So these are the slide regarding to the materials of the flywheel. So next coming to the construction of the flywheel. So there are mainly two types of flywheels, that is flywheel with the web and flywheel with the arms. So there consists of two types of flywheels. One is the flywheel with the web and other is the flywheel with the arms. So in the flywheel with the web, the parts are, first one is the rim. So it is a negligible thickness. So it is a thin rim compared to the other, and it contains the web. Web means the middle part of the flywheel is known as web, and it consists of holes in it. So to exceed these fluctuations or other stresses, they are used to remove it from the holes. And for the center part of the region there is the hub. It is known as the hub. So this hub is used to fix it with the solid shafts or any other thing. So that is the main parts of the flywheel with the web. And when coming to the flywheel with the arms, it consists of very thick rim. So when comparing to the flywheel with the web, the rim is very thick, and the center part of the region is called same with the hub, and the arms are situated in the center part of the region. So the arms are arranged at the center part of the region. So that is the main difference between the flywheel with the web and flywheel with the arms. Next coming to the flywheel with the arms. So there consists of a design arms. So you can see it in the picture when we see the tire of the car or bike. In these recent times, there is a several designs of arms in it. So this is a V-cut design. So when you see the picture, you will know about that. So this is a V-cut design in it. So next we can see the turning movement diagram for a 4-stroke cycle IC engine. So this is the turning moment diagram for a 4-stroke cycle engine. So when it comes to the turning moment and crank angle, so we draw it with the turning moment and crank angle. So the average torque line is known as the T mean line. So this is at the center of the turning moment diagram. So the maximum position is indicated with the T max, that is T max position. So there are different types of loops in it. So negative loop and positive loops. So the 4-stroke cycle IC engine starts with the negative loop, which it has suction stroke. There are 4 types of strokes in it. First one is the suction stroke, compression stroke, working stroke, and exhaust stroke. So that is the there are the 4 stroke in which we have to use it to it. The suction stroke consists of a negative loop and a positive loop, and this compression stroke consists of a negative loop only, and the working stroke consists of only a positive loop, and the exhaust stroke consists of a negative and positive loop. So these are the 4 types of loops in which they are divided into 4 pi. That is, pi is a revolution. So 4 pi we are taking it as 4 into pi by 180. And turning moment we are taking it as the value sector. So this is the turning moment diagram for the 4-stroke cycle IC engine. Next one, coming to the fluctuation of energy in the flywheel. So the fluctuations is considered as the above and below of the mean torque line. So the energy which is above and below the mean torque line is known as the fluctuations of energy. And the mean torque line A1, A2, A3, A4, these are the different types of energies with the considering points A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and the crank angle is considered as the angle for the portion, and turning moment is defined as the value of the portion. So the fluctuation of energy is seen in the picture in the flywheel with the A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, and A6. So we are going to divide the sector of energies between the points. So from first point, that is A, it is 0, and next one coming to the point B, that is from A to B, the energy carried is plus A1. That means it is in the positive loop, and the energy here it is A1. Next, when it is coming to the point C, that is A1 minus A2, because minus means negative loop, that is in the negative loop, and we are considering it as minus A2. When coming to the A3 portion, it is plus A3, that is in the positive loop. So that is the sequence of operations we have to conduct in the fluctuation of energy. So this turning moment diagram for a multi-cylinder engine is shown above. The intercepted areas between the torque developed by the engine and the mean torque line is taken in the order. So that is given as following type: plus A1 minus A2 plus A3 minus A4. and plus A5, that is, and minus A6. And let the energy in the flywheel at A is equal to U. So that is the energy consideration here. So then from the figure we have the energy at B, because energy at A is equal to 0. So that is taken as U. U means energy here. So at B is equal to U plus energy between A and B is A1. So that is plus A1. Next, when coming to the C, it is taken as minus A2, but up to B, అంటే B వరకు ఉన్న ఎనర్జీని ప్లస్ C ని కూడా యాడ్ చేయాలి కాబట్టి అమ్మ B వరకు ఉన్న ఎనర్జీ వచ్చేసరికి U ప్లస్ A1. నెక్స్ట్ C దగ్గరకు వచ్చేసరికి మైనస్ A2, ఎందుకంటే నెగిటివ్ లూప్ లో ఉంది కాబట్టి. నెక్స్ట్ ఎనర్జీ ఎట్ B, U ప్లస్ A1 మైనస్ A2, B దగ్గరకు వచ్చేసరికి ప్లస్ A3. సో అలా ప్రతి పాయింట్ దగ్గర తీసుకుంటున్నాం. సో ఇవి మనకి ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ లో కూడా చూసాం, ఆల్రెడీ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ లో కూడా డిఫైన్ చేశాను. సో ఇలా ప్రతి పాయింట్ దగ్గర కూడా మనం ఎనర్జీ లూప్స్ ని కన్సిడర్ చేయొచ్చు అన్నమాట. సో ఇలా ప్రతి పాయింట్ దగ్గర తీసుకొని టోటల్ లాస్ట్ కి వచ్చేసరికి జీరోగా చూపించాలి, ఎందుకంటే ఎనర్జీ స్టోర్ అయింది, ఎనర్జీ మనం రిలీజ్ చేసింది ఒకటే ఉండాలి, దాన్ని జీరోగా తీసుకుంటాం లాస్ట్ కి వచ్చేసరికి. సో let the maximum and minimum energy occurs at point E and B is, that is maximum energy తీసుకుంటాం, నెక్స్ట్ మినిమం ఎనర్జీ. సో మాక్సిమం ఎనర్జీ వచ్చేసరికి పాజిటివ్స్ లో, అంటే పాజిటివ్ వాల్యూలో హైయెస్ట్ వాల్యూ ఏదైతే ఉందో దాన్ని మాక్సిమం ఎనర్జీగా తీసుకుంటున్నాం. మినిమం ఎనర్జీ వచ్చేసరికి నెగిటివ్ లో ఏదైతే లీస్ట్ వాల్యూ ఉంటుందో దాన్ని తీసుకుంటున్నాం. సో ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఆల్రెడీ చూసాము మా మోడల్స్ లో. సో మీరు ఒకసారి ప్రాబ్లం చూస్తే అర్థమైంది energy problems. So therefore the maximum fluctuation of energy is defined as the difference between the maximum kinetic energy and minimum kinetic energy in the cycle. So that is known as maximum fluctuation of energy, that is the difference between the maximum kinetic energy and minimum kinetic energy. So దాన్ని ఎలా తీసుకున్నాం, యూస్ లో తీసుకున్నాం, కానీ మనకి ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ లోకి వచ్చేసరికి E1 E2 కింద తీసుకుంటాం. మాక్సిమం ఎనర్జీ మినిమం ఎనర్జీ డైరెక్ట్ గా తీసేసుకుంటున్నాం, అక్కడ డెల్టా ఈ ఎలా తీసుకుంటున్నాం. సో మాక్సిమం ఫ్లక్చువేషన్ ఆఫ్ ఎనర్జీని డెల్టా ఈ దగ్గర క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేసుకుంటున్నాను. సో అలా తీసుకుంటే ఒక వాల్యూ అనేది డిఫైన్ అవుతుంది. సో దాన్ని మనం మాక్సిమం ఫ్లక్చువేషన్ ఆఫ్ ఎనర్జీ కింద తీసుకోవచ్చు. Next, we will define the sum of the short answers questions, that is coefficient of fluctuation of energy. So it may be defined as the ratio of maximum fluctuation of energy to the work done per cycle. So it is defined as the ratio of maximum fluctuation of energy to the work done per cycle. So that is known as coefficient of fluctuation of energy. And mathematically, coefficient of fluctuation of energy is taken as C, that is coefficient of fluctuation of energy. C is equal to maximum fluctuation of energy divided by work done per cycle. So that is maximum work done, maximum fluctuation of energy divided by work done per cycle. So that is known as the coefficient of fluctuation of energy. Next, the work done per cycle may be obtained by using the following two relations. So we have already seen it in the problems also. So the work done per cycle is taken as T mean into theta, that is torque mean torque line into theta. So T mean is taken as mean torque and theta is the angle turned in one revolution, that is 2 pi in case of steam engine and two-stroke engines, but 4 pi for the four-stroke IC engines. So that is the difference. So we have to take the 2 pi for two-stroke IC engines and steam engine, but 4 pi for the four-stroke IC engines. So that is the main difference. Next, work done per cycle. So the work done per cycle is the product of mean torque and the angular movement for one complete cycle revolution. That is, work done per cycle is equal to T mean into theta. So theta is the angular movement for one cycle. So we have already seen in the above slide that it is for 2 pi for two-stroke IC engines and steam engines and 4 pi for four-stroke IC engines. So T mean is calculated as, so T mean formula వచ్చేసమ్మా, so 60 into P by 2 pi n. P అంటే పవర్ ఆఫ్ ది మోటార్ కానీ హార్స్ పవర్ అని అనుకోవచ్చు, డివైడెడ్ బై 2 pi n. n అంటే స్పీడ్ కింద ఆర్పిఎంస్ లో ఇస్తాడు మనకి, స్పీడ్ కింద తీసుకోవచ్చు. Then work done per cycle for two-stroke IC engines in SI units, that is taken as T mean into theta. T mean into theta గా తీసుకోవచ్చు. That is 60p by 2 pi into n into 2 pi. సో పై క్యాన్సిల్ అయిపోద్ది, అక్కడ మనకి 2 కూడా క్యాన్సిల్ అయిపోయి 2 pi క్యాన్సిల్ అయిపోద్దమ్మా. ఇక్కడ మిగిలింది 60p by n న్యూటన్ మీటర్. అదే ఫోర్ స్ట్రోక్ తీసుకుంటే 4 pi వస్తుంది. ఇట్ విల్ బి టేకెన్ యాజ్ 4 pi. సో సేమ్ మనకి 60p by n by 2 వస్తుంది అంతే, ఇక్కడ n by 2 గా తీసుకోవచ్చు. సో ఆల్సో the work done per cycle may also be defined in terms of working strokes, that is power stroke. So దాన్ని 60p by n గా తీసుకోవచ్చు. Next, we also taken the omega 1 and omega 2, that is maximum and minimum angular speeds. So అదే కైనెటిక్ ఎనర్జీ తీసుకుంటే, దట్ ఈస్ మీన్ కైనెటిక్ ఎనర్జీ తీసుకుంటే ఫార్ములా వచ్చేసరికి క్యాపిటల్ E is equal to half into I into omega square. సో ఐకి ఫార్ములా సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేసుకుంటే I is equal to mk square గా తీసుకుంటే mk square into omega square అవుతుందమ్మా. సో డైరెక్ట్ గా సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. సో దీన్ని ఎనర్జీ కింద తీసుకోవచ్చు, అది జౌల్స్ లోనే తీసుకోవాలి మనం. ఎనర్జీకి యూనిట్స్ వచ్చేసరికి జౌల్స్. నెక్స్ట్, మాక్సిమం ఫ్లక్చువేషన్ ఆఫ్ ఎనర్జీ. సో మాక్సిమం ఫ్లక్చువేషన్ ఆఫ్ ఎనర్జీ వచ్చేసరికి డెల్టా E గా తీసుకుంటున్నాను. డెల్టా E is equal to maximum kinetic energy minus minimum kinetic energy. సో అవి సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేస్తే దట్ ఈస్ half into I into omega 1 square minus half into I into omega 2 whole square. రెండింటిని సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేస్తే చివరికి వచ్చే వాల్యూ వచ్చేసరికి 2 into E into CS. సో 2 into E into CS. సో E ని మనం I into omega square into 1 by 2 గా తీసుకోవచ్చు. దట్ ఈస్ ద వాల్యూ. అండ్ టోటల్ గా మనకి డెల్టా E is equal to ఫార్ములా ఇదమ్మా, mr square omega square into CS. CS అంటే కోఎఫిషియంట్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్లక్చుయేషన్ ఆఫ్ స్పీడ్, m అంటే మాస్, r అంటే రేడియస్ ఆఫ్ గైరేషన్, ఒమేగా వచ్చేసరికి యాంగులర్ వెలాసిటీ. అదే మనం V is equal to omega into r లో సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేసుకుంటే mv square into CS అవుతుంది అన్నమాట, సేమ్ వాల్యూ. సో దీస్ ఆర్ ది డిఫరెంట్ వాల్యూస్. సో ఇవి కూడా కొన్ని అజంప్షన్స్ అమ్మ మనకి. సో ఫ్లై వీల్ కి సంబంధించి అజంప్షన్స్ ఇవన్నీ కూడా. కొన్ని షార్ట్ ఆన్సర్స్. సో డ్రా a neat sketch of the flywheel. Check the total stress induced in the flywheel rim. Design the shaft, key and hub of a flywheel. Design the arms. తర్వాత చిన్న చిన్న ప్రాబ్లమ్స్. సో ఇవన్నీ కూడా రెగ్యులర్ గా యూనివర్సిటీ ఎగ్జామ్స్ లో అడిగేవే మనకి. సో దిస్ ఈజ్ అబౌట్ ది ఫ్లైవీల్స్. సో ఎనీ డౌట్స్ అమ్మా? ఇక్కడ మనం మాస్ కనుక్కోవడానికి ఇక్కడ ఒక ఫార్ములా ఉంది చూడండి. మాస్ ఇజ్ m ఇజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు మాస్ ఆఫ్ ది ఫ్లైవీల్ రిమ్ అన్నాడు. సో ఫ్లైవీల్ రిమ్ కూడా ఒక ఫార్ములా ఉంది, పై ఇంటూ డయామీటర్ d ఇంటూ స్మాల్ b ఇంటూ t. దాన్నే ఏరియా కింద తీసుకోవచ్చు అమ్మ మనం. సో b ఇంటూ t ని ఏరియా కింద ఏగా తీసుకోవచ్చు, పై ఇంటూ d ఇంటూ a ఇంటూ రోగా తీసుకోవచ్చు అనమాట. సో a ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు b ఇంటూ t ఫార్ములాకి, విడ్త్ ఇంటూ థిక్నెస్. సో ఇది ఒక ఫార్ములా మనకి. సో ఈ ఫార్ములా ఆల్రెడీ చూసాం, డెల్టా E ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు mr స్క్వేర్ ఒమేగా స్క్వేర్ cs ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు mv స్క్వేర్ cs. ఈ ఫార్ములా ఆల్రెడీ చూసాం మనం, మాక్సిమం ఫ్లక్చుయేషన్ ఆఫ్ ఎనర్జీకి ఫార్ములా అది. సో దీస్ ఆర్ ది డిఫరెంట్ ఫార్ములాస్ ఫర్ ది సెక్షన్స్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్లైవీల్స్. సో ఎనీ డౌట్స్ అమ్మా? ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉంటే అడగండి. ఓకే.